Hi, my name is Andy Biggs. I'm the Congressman from Arizona's 5th Congressional District, and I'm pleased to be joined today by two longtime fellow citizens of the Southeast Valley. We have Steve Carlston, General Manager, and Jim Kinney. I will call the owner of Sunsplash Golfland in Mesa. And for as long as I remember, that's been there. And I moved here in probably 84, 86. I think it was 86 when I moved here. But you've been there for a long time, Jim. Steve, you've worked there for more than 20 years, I believe. And
correct.
You guys have a great business in the sense that you're part of the fabric of the community of the Southeast Valley, and where your location is, you are visible to all who drive on the US 60. There's no doubt about that.
Yes.
So you guys, Steve, I'll start with you, Steve. You guys have this business. You do a lot of it in the summertime when kids are out of school. That's probably the hub of the business. You haven't been able to do that this year. What happened?
Yeah, you're definitely right about that. So July definitely is the biggest month out of the summer. It's the one that we rely on to become profitable. We incur quite a bit of cost just to get running and operate through June, so that we can become profitable in July. And with the shutdowns, well, with the reopening at the time that it was, and then thereafter the shutdown at the exact wrong time, it took us through the incurrence of the expenses, but didn't let us get through the profit part.
Yeah, and you have I think you said something like 745 employees, and you haven't been able to keep them all on because of the you haven't had any real revenue stream, right? So
that's correct. Yeah, there's a lot that we've had to furlough, and not just your young kids starting out in their first job as a lifeguard, but some fathers, grandfathers with families that rely on them, and unfortunately we have had to furlough quite a few people.
And so you guys, Jim, you guys filed a lawsuit, and what was the basis of the lawsuit?
Well, basically, we had some winners and losers with no real reason. And we had no intentions, nor did we care to file a lawsuit. We figured we would just write it out, for the 4 weeks and do the best job we could. But the goalposts kept on moving on us. And like Stephen said, without July, our business becomes very unprofitable. In fact, without the water park right now, this is a very low earning facility, even though everything else is open. It's not profitable to run this location without being able to run the water.
And so, Jim, you said goalposts were moved. Tell me what you mean by that. So people watching who may not be following it as closely will understand what you mean when you say goalposts were moved.
Initially, it was said that we'd be able to reopen in 4 weeks, and in that we would probably have to have our place certified that we were doing everything correctly. But the truth is that we, with a lot of other people in the industry, we've been in this industry for many, many years, almost since its inception. And we sat down, and we're part of the World Organization, IAPA, that helped design the standards for water park and safe park openings. And so we had adopted those, and even before we opened our doors this year, and we maintained those standards all while we were open. And so we weren't too worried to be reopened in 4 weeks. We, in fact, anticipated and had no question, because, again, we exceeded all the standards that are currently being held to by other water parks that are currently open. And so, but then at the last minute, we found that it was going to be 2 weeks. And we go, oh, that's really disheartening to be led right up to that day. And then, Steve, correct me, but it was just not just a couple of days before that 2 weeks was up that we found out that that we were going to be delayed, those 2 weeks. And then when the 2 weeks were up, now it wasn't even a matter of time. It was a matter of if when, by these metrics, which, well, I'm a mathematician at heart, and they really don't make much sense.
Yeah. Well, I would say, Jim, I spent a lot of time studying the data and statistics here, and I have to concur with your conclusion as well. So you filed the lawsuit, and it's moving along. Steve, where are we on the lawsuit?
So the basis of the lawsuit, the true basis, is an equal protection argument. We're very anxiously awaiting a hearing that we have scheduled for 9 a.m. on Friday, this coming Friday, to see if we can get our application for a temporary restraining order approved. And the basis is on the fact that we were forced to close. We were enforced in that fact, and the other water parks in the state that are attached to hotels were allowed to stay open.
So this got removed to the federal court, is that correct?
It did, yes. The governor's council submitted a motion to have it moved.
And
Well,
Jim,
Stephen,
yeah, I was
pardon.
gonna say, Jim, what's you guys' hope here is the outcome on Friday?
well, we hope to be able to open, and we will. We'll open Friday night if we can get the proper, well, what we hope to be the proper decision from the court. We've reinvested again these opening costs and retraining and cleaning and it's a lot of work.
Sure.
And just on the hopes that we'll be able to open up this Friday night. We might be disappointed, but we hope for the best. But to add on to what Steven said about other water parks, it wasn't just hotels, that were allowed to stay open, but even the state's own Slide Rock, which is considered a water park, was allowed to stay open and is massively crowded each weekend. And there's actually another park, we'll not mention it, but further south that just kind of stayed quiet and stayed open. And well, anyway.
Yeah, and don't forget that on occasion, Slide Rock picks up some bacteria. They have to close it and clean it up and bring it back, right? So,
But that'd be because it's unchlorinated.
Because it's exactly right. It's not chlorinated.
Yeah.
So,
There's a difference.
and so whichever way he wants to take it, but I mean, let's face the real ramifications here. If you're not able to get your park open and try to get as much business in before the season ends, what is the long-term ramification for Sunsplash?
Go ahead, Stephen.
The question, or the worry's always out there that there's a possibility we would have to close our doors and they would not reopen again. That's every business that's been shuttered by these orders, I'm sure, is facing that fear in some way or another. Of course, the longer that we are closed, the worse it gets. But yes, that is a real fear, and it's something we talk about every day. And I think both Jim and I will admit that we lose sleep every single night because of it.
Yeah.
Just this morning, I got the call from one of the partners, and they're going, "Well, some of these locations we need to shut down, and because they're in the red, and we really don't start making money again in any of our businesses until next May or June, and so it's not like a gym that reopens. In fact, this is their slow season." That reopens, and then they have an annual source of income. We are quickly losing our window of operating, and we will not see a profitable month until May. And so for us, it's maybe even a little scary than most.
I'll be watching to find out what the result is in this hearing on Friday. And
well, a lot of others. There's been a lot of requests to call in and listen. So
you all will be right there, a little bit closer to the action than I will. But I'll be paying very close attention, as will my team. We're concerned about your business, and we want you to succeed. Want all these businesses to succeed. So I really feel bad for you, and feel for you, because it can't be easy watching this and a business that you built over many years, take a government action taken against you potentially causes you to so you might actually lose the business. That is really that's really devastating to you, I'm sure, but it's hard for us to watch. We don't want that. We want you to succeed and pray for a good outcome on Friday for you.
Thank you. We even back in 2008, 2009, it hurt my heart to see a business close because that meant there was just one less person there standing with you. And we feel the same during this time. It is too bad because, we thought we had a good relationship with the governor's office. We worked with them quite closely. We communicated with them and kind of a little bit of unfortunately,
feeling slighted.
Yeah, after developing that relationship and that we cherished and that we didn't take for granted, we felt very honored and grateful for that relationship, and then to be singled out like this. You say, well, there's other water parks that were closed down too, but really Big Surf before this shutdown decided they weren't going to open this year. It's too hard to be profitable. Hurricane Harbor, which we actually controlled years ago ourselves. We know the place well, and they saw us open, and then they decided to open up a month later. Those poor folks were only open a couple of weeks, and I'm sure they're hit so hard that they already said that they're just not going to reopen this season at all. So they're a Six Flags property, of course, and so they bow to the corporate decision makers.
Sure. Well, a couple things. First of all, thanks for taking some time updating people on what's going on. We get people wondering what's going on with you guys, and that's the first thing. So I appreciate you taking time, and especially when you're busy. And the second thing is Godspeed to you. We want to know what's going on. We're cheering for you, and like I say, praying for you. And we may need to check in with you again in a few days. Whatever happens on Friday, we'll stay out of your way because I know you're going to have to absorb whatever happens and deal with that. But maybe next week we can get back together.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thanks for having us.